We often say food is freedom. There's so much truth to that statement. Think about all the stuff you put in your body. Think of the 3 meals a day you eat, maybe some snacks. Now think about where you got those. Think what's in those. What kind of ingredients are you putting in your body? The food that we're eating may be causing more issues with our health. Of course, may cost you more money than making it yourself, and ultimately allows you to lose freedom. Now, what do I mean by that? That's crazy statements, but it's true. Food is freedom. When you can have access to your sustainable food, it cleans your diet up, saves you money, and ultimately gives you freedom. Let's jump into some scary data dealing with what you're putting in your body and what is being allowed to be put in your food. This video is going to be eye-opening, but also a good one, and hopefully you'll gain some wisdom from it to take care of your family. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. That does help us stay in the algorithm. Our goal is to bring good quality content, at the same time making sure you're making wise decisions with the information that we're getting. I would love to entertain you, but more than that, I want you to be informed. So here you go. This is one of those situations where today's video is all about your food. Not only can you buy it, or not only should you stockpile it, it's the trash that you're putting in your body. Let's go through the data of some stories that I think would be eye-opening to you. But more than that, remember, you're eating anywhere from 2 to 5 meals a day. On average, Americans eat 2 to 5 meals a day. What are in those foods, and are they bad for you? Let's jump into it. When we talk about GMOs, or we talk about foods that have been so overly processed, are they actually good for us? Are they saving us money because we don't want to cook at home? That's the two things that we hear the most. Well, it's just easy to pick up food. It's convenience. Or, hey, it's actually a lot cheaper just to buy food in town than actually cook it yourself. So I want to jump on both of those situations today. I want to talk about those in the data that we've gotten. I'm using Zero Hedge News Source to be able to find these stories, but it's amazing some of the information they came out with on some of the stories. So first and foremost, let's talk about the convenient element. We love convenience. It makes it easy. We can run to town, grab food instead of coming home and cooking. I mean, we've been working all day. Kids have been in school all day. I'm just tired and I don't want to cook this big old meal that we're probably going to waste anyway. That's the conversations that we hear. This is from Zero Hedge. American fast food chains use seaweed, soy, and even wood to beef up the menus. Meaning, the more that we had supply chain issues, the more we changed the way we made food. Not us personally, but the players that be, some of big business or government regulations to allow certain things to be placed in your food. It's amazing that America's culture will allow more into their food than anyone else on the globe. Our government will allow certain things, whereas most governments say this is not good in any sense, we're not even going to allow you to put in the food. Our government says, well, you can have up to this amount. Let's think about that. How bad is that for you? So first and foremost, let's get out of the way that convenience food is good for you or more economic, because when you choose to eat this convenience food, the health ramifications of later on actually will cost you more. When you saw pictures from 1800s and early 1900s, did you see a lot of diabetics? Did you see a lot of obese people? Did you see a lot of health issues that were tied to cholesterol, high blood pressure? Did we see those things? Did we see a lot of cancers? Now, here's the kickback I get. They'll say, oh, well, you know, we didn't have testing back then, or we didn't know what they died from. They died young. So we didn't know what was wrong with them. It may have gotten rid of a lot of other disease and a lot of other things that were killing people. So now we're just facing things in our own world. Okay, so if we have better technology now to fix and help harness the dangers of what we dealt with in yesteryear, why don't we take what we learned in yesteryear, the good things such as the clean food, and put it in here, and now all of a sudden you've got a population living longer and more healthy because they're not putting trash food, but we've also developed technology to see the dangers of what we did die from back in the yesteryears. What is the most common food that people buy? Fast food. Now, this is not against anyone who eats fast food daily. I think that you are tearing your body up and causing more damage to it, but I digress. Let's jump into it. American fast food chains use seaweed, soy, even wood to beef up the items. Through an investigation, the report shows that there are more than 120 hidden ingredients in chicken burgers or chicken nuggets at most fast food restaurants. McDonald's, it contains white boneless chicken, but also has several types of acid, flavorings, yeast extract, dextrose, and more solids. Wendy's, only 56% of a chicken sandwich, the name, chicken sandwich, is actually chicken breast. The rest is a mixture of water, flour, starch, acids, and powders, or fully refined soybean oil and other unusual agents that are flavoring a chicken and smoke taste and smell. The patty, bun, and mayonnaise include over 5 allergens in a Wendy's chicken sandwich. Jack in the Box, the meat in the popcorn chicken also contains quote unquote isolated oat product and also more potato starch. Whataburger, the Daily Mail reports a significant proportion of the chain's Southern style chicken strips are not pure chicken meat. Up to 12% of each tender has sodium phosphate and isolated soy protein. Now, I'm not against protein. I'm not even against soybeans. I'm against the fact that 88% of all soybeans now are processed and derived of a GMO crop. It's not really true soy anymore. Also, the way that they're processing it, it puts even more refining on it, which makes it more chemically induced and more bad for you. So when people are eating protein, that's a good thing. When people eat soybeans like us eating edamame, we have a non-GMO organic crop of soybeans that we're raising, then we're turning around, we're cooking them, steaming them. They're not really bad for you. But when you take something and you over process it and you refine it, when you see things that are refined, that's actually not good. So refined flour, refined rice, all those things refined is actually bad for you. It's gonna cause more issues. According to the Daily Meal, Burger King chicken nuggets also contain a whole host of flavoring alongside chicken breast and rib meat. These include autolyzed yeast extract, other flavor enhancers, disodium guanylate, a form of salt that sometimes is used with MSG, and we've heard of MSG. These are unsuitable ingredients for anyone who has sensitivities to eggs, milk, wheat, gluten, and celery. So a lot of times we build food allergens because of all this trash that we're putting in our food, that it makes us more susceptible to issues with digestive issues, which will cause more cancers and more diseases. We didn't hear people being gluten intolerant or peanut intolerant years ago. This is something that has been coming for the last few years because the more we genetically mutate our food. Now, we hear studies saying, oh, it's not bad for you. The people doing the studies are the people either that's making the food or the government that's allowing the food to be processed and fed to you. So do we believe those studies to know that these foods are not causing us more heart issues, more digestive issues, more cancers, more sickness, more obesity, more lethargicness, less masculine men? Do you know what I'm saying? What kind of health problems are we actually having from this food? Dairy Queen has about 18% of solution that is hydrolyzed soy protein, sodium phosphates. Again, not really what we should be eating. When I want chicken, I want chicken. When I go harvest a chicken, I expect it to be 100% chicken. You think that you're buying food because it is easy, convenient, it's actually good sustenance for your body. Well, it's not. And if your diet is based around that, and you look at the people that diet is based around, do you honestly say those people are specimens of health? No, because we are tearing up our bodies by eating this trash. Now, you have noticed that your food is up around 15 to 20% even at fast food over the last 2 years. So now you're actually paying more for trash food. Just like I told you about that cow. I could buy a cheaper livestock mix that's gonna have a bunch of junk in it. If it be sawdust, if it be some kind of hulls, if it be some kind of just filler for a cow. But ultimately, they're not getting a good quality meal compared to just eating on all this grass over here or eating a higher quality feed. I want to know that what's in my cow is good quality, producing great beef to making me enjoy the true beef that I'm eating. So if I have to control the food that the cow eats, then I control where the cow is processed, then I control how I make my food. Do you see, that was a long process to get healthy quality food on my table for my family to eat. If you take all those accesses out and you're saying, okay, we've got someone growing food and they want to grow mass productions of it to ultimately make as much money as they can. And remember, farmers are not your local farmers anymore. Most farms are owned by co-ops or by big business. So they're not looking out for your health, they're looking out for their bottom line. And then because you're not able to grow food as a society, we tend to have to rely on other people to provide food for us. So we're in shortage, so then we start adding all these GMO, all this bioengineered food into our diet, all this filler such as the seaweed or the wood chips or the whatever that we're having to put in our food, or the soy-based products instead of meat-based products, because we don't have enough food to feed America or the world. So now you see people are mass producing food, and most economic chemical laced food is possible. So you have GMO crops, corn, soy. 88 to 90% of all soybean and corn have been produced that are genetically modified. That is scary. So bad quality from the farmer and the co-ops, getting more additives added to it at the factories and the manufacturers so it can feed the world, to then go to this next player that's buying it to make it as cheap as possible and therefore give it to the masses. So by the time that burger or that chicken sandwich or that fast food meal gets to you, the quality has been degraded so much, even from the farmer, through the 5 or 6 different steps it had to go through to get to you. So that cheap burger is actually costing your health later on in your life. When you're 20 years old and you can eat it, great, that is awesome. I'm telling you, I've ate tons of burgers when I was in high school and college. I ate tons of all this food when I was in high school and college. The older we got and realized, wow, this junk is actually killing us and causing more health issues, then you start waking up and seeing, I could never give my kids fast food. My kids haven't ate fast food in I don't know how long. They have not went and got any kind of, fast food burger in years. Here's the kicker. The other day we had to go out of town and we literally went bowling, had a great time as a family. Well then guess what? We had to eat somewhere. So then we have to say, okay, what has the best quality? So we try to find the best quality restaurant. Does that mean that restaurant is at the same quality as ours at home? Absolutely not. But that's not something that we do daily. That's not even something we do weekly. Is it bad for us all the time? Yes, absolutely. But studies show that if you just eat one here and there, it's probably not that bad for you. Because again, in American society, we allow people to eat a certain amount of whatever it is. And as long as we eat just up to that amount, it's not bad for us. So if you are eating fast food 1, 2, 3 times a day, try backing that off maybe to once a week. Maybe start bringing your food. I believe you're gonna see a difference in your health. If you're trying to lose weight, you're gonna start losing weight. If you are trying to feel better and feel more rested and also feel more energetic for the day, I believe you're gonna do that because you're gonna get higher quality food compared to the junk that you're buying in town. So it's not saving your money, it's not better quality food. What is it actually good for? Let's jump into one more thing other than just food. It's our drink. High levels of toxic metals have been found widely in consumed drinks. Arsenic, cadmium. Cadmium, meanwhile, is another naturally occurring element used in products such as batteries, pigments, metal coatings, and plastic, but also found in our plants and animal foods. Consumed in bigger amounts, cadmium, arsenic can cause stomach issues. It can lead to lung damage or even death. It is considered cancerous agents. Exposures to low level of these chemicals in our air, food, and particularly in like tobacco smoke can cause kidney failure or kidney diseases or fragile bones. Fruit juices, plant-based milk, so those oat milks, those soy milks, all that kind of junk. In total, 7 of 25 elements measured by researchers in their study exceeded drinking water standards in some of the drinks, including nickel, manganese, boron, cadmium, strontium, arsenic, selenium, and several other words I can't pronounce. So it's not safe for us to drink in our water. However, because it's been so processed, it's been derived, it's been put through all these testing, it's then bottled in something like plastic, it tends to have more toxicity to your body. So you're drinking all these sports drinks, you're drinking all these soda drinks, you're drinking all these quote-unquote fruit drinks that if you look at the back, it says like 25% fruit and the rest is made up of all this other junk that you can't understand. This stuff is killing us. Our food is killing us. Me and Misty made a pact a long time ago. We want to grow all our food. We know that. We grow about 90% of our food. We grow 100% of all our meat, but we grow about 90% of our other daily intakes. We have to buy something. For instance, we went to Whole Foods 2 days ago because we were in that town bowling, and we just said, hey, we'll swing by Whole Foods and grab something for that evening like a little snack. So we went to Whole Foods, and so if we can buy something and we can read and understand everything that's on that package in the ingredients list, and that ingredients list is shorter than two or three lines, then we believe, hey, that's a better quality food compared to most. Now, go to your local grocery store, pick up your loaf of bread. Look how many chemicals are in it. It's like 30 lines of ingredients. Go and pick up your local cake at your grocery store. Go and pick up your local anything at your grocery store. If you can't read those ingredients, do you actually think they're good for you? Now, here's the scary thing. The things that say non-GMO organic, I do believe there is good non-GMO, good organic, absolutely. But things like soy milks and all these almond milks and oat milks, all this over-processed stuff because you're gluten-free. When you start looking at that, a lot of those things that's in those items that's supposedly better for you compared to just real milk or real flour, a lot of those things are actually worse for you when you start reading about them. A lot of those things are not good for our bodies to take in. It's just there's not been enough studies to tell us that those are bad for us too. When our food and our drinks are actually contaminated, then the quality of our health will always go down. And when the quality of our health goes down, we become more susceptible to rule and reign. We become more susceptible to our health. So we're going to have to get on pharmaceuticals, because instead of cleaning up our diets, a lot of times we'd rather take medicine. Then we tend to have mental problems. So we tend to get a little bit depressed about it. Maybe we're getting overweight. Maybe we're having a thyroid issue. Maybe we're having those health issues, and it's causing us to have anxiety and stress and mental anguish. Think of all the pharmaceuticals that our society is on. Do you think it could be caused by some of the food and drinks that we're putting in our body, the crap food, the processes that we're going through to have convenience and ease foods? Does that mean we're not gonna die of cancer because we're eating holistically off farm? No, that doesn't mean that. I mean, that could actually happen. But God gave us this beautiful earth to inhabit and to enjoy. Milk from a cow is better milk than some processed oat milk. Now, the problem is, instead of getting true milk from a cow like we do, we milk every morning and we drink that milk, it has to go through 15 other channels, and then it gets to the store and supposedly lasts for 30 to 40 days. That's why milk has a bad name. That's why corn and flour and all this stuff has bad names. That's why people have gluten and peanut allergies. It's because we've processed these foods too much. We take all the good benefits out of them, and since they're not eating off farm, then they're going through all these processes, and then they're getting to us. And so therefore we think we have to buy some other kind of GMO derived or bioengineered food because the real milk or the real flour or the real corn or the real butter is bad for us. And actually it's not. It's just went through too many other processes. So the food system is broke. Our investment has to be back in ourselves and our health. I had a guy one time tell me, and I'll never forget it. He said, a lot of times people will come to my farm, and this was a farmer who sold strictly off farm, and his vegetables and his meat were a little bit more pricey. And I never forget him saying this. He said, I work hard to make sure that my customers have the most high quality foods that can be grown. If they're not able to grow them themselves, I want to grow them the best quality, and I want them to trust me for that. He says, they even have said, I'm willing to pay more for it. He said, that's where I'll always correct them and say, you're actually not paying more for it. You're paying for good food now that you're not growing. However, if you were to buy cheaper food, you're gonna pay for it later with your health. The more insurance you're gonna pay, the more pharmaceuticals you're gonna be on, the more health deterioration you're gonna see. So when you're paying for food that is more pricey, quote unquote, more pricey, it's actually that you're paying the true value of what that food cost. And it's gonna be better for you because you're getting a holistic style food, which will ultimately allow your body to process it better, to digest it better, and to be more healthy. If we learn to eat economic or quote unquote cheaper food or convenience food, the more we put that trash in our bodies, the more chemicals and the more substance that is not true food, it's filler, is going to be in our body, which is gonna cause us more sickness later on. Now I know, again, the studies show GMO is not bad for us. Bioengineered is not bad for us. How many times have we heard studies not bad for us, and then all of a sudden 50 years later we realize, oh crap, that stuff was bad for us. We used to see people smoke all the time in restaurants and in stores. My grandfather had a store and he smoked in it all the time, didn't know any difference because it was not meant to hurt us. Then we realized it did hurt us. So sometimes we can't always trust the 3-letter agencies or 4-letter agencies to give us all the information we're needing. It comes back to, who can we trust? Well, I can trust the ground that I'm standing on to grow it in. I can trust my wife and myself and my children to grow our own food. And if I can't, then I'm gonna find the most reputable farmer who has a big heart, who wants to see people eat good quality food and not just to try to get rich off me and sell me junk food. So my challenge to you over this video is take fast food out of your diet. If you're eating fast food 5 to 7 times a week, try eating it 2 times a week. If you're not eating it hardly at all, just take it out of your diet, period. Learn to cook from home, make from scratch, buy better quality ingredients for the ones you're having to buy, and then start growing something. You're gonna notice a difference in your health. I want to be healthy. Again, as a Christian, I want my body to be a temple. So again, I want to be a temple of God. I'm a Christian, so I look at things spiritually, but also physically. I don't want to be a bad steward with what God has given me. He's given me this body. I only get one body for a lifetime, so let's try to take care of it by putting good quality foods in it and not chemical-induced juices or sodas or some fast food that they say is chicken, but actually it's just a bunch of filler, seaweed, and soy. That's not good. Thank you guys for watching. This is just one of those rants, again, as we try to grow our own food and I start hearing all these people talk about how they can't afford good quality food. Yes, you can, because what you're buying now, and if it's good quality, will allow you to be more healthy, to have a better quality temple and body to be able to go through this world. The junk that you eat now will cause you more ramifications and issues later on. That food will have consequences later on. So please try to clean up your diet. American people tend to be the ones that eat more trash food than anyone else in the world because our government does allow for more things to be in food. But take control of that again and start growing as much food as you can, buying holistically as much as you can. If you can't read the ingredients and understand what those ingredients are on the back of any package you're buying from a grocer, put it back, find something that you can. Learn to clean up your diet. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day today. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.